Welcome to this edition of Jesse Green Live. It's 5:36 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, so here we are. Can you believe the sun's up at 5:36?
Can't believe I'm up at 5:36.
I'm sorry I got you up so early.
That's all right, Russell. Oh, Jesse, I'm sorry.
And that's the end of our show today. Thanks for joining us.
Well, you're not going to do that to me, are you? Come
No. My guest today is a longtime friend. I was thinking driving over here, Tom. I can't remember when we first met. I know we worked on Heavy Duty Man, but we knew each other before then.
So,
by the way, this is Tom Tooley.
Tui.
Tui.
It's all right, Russell.
Old time friend. Yeah.
So good of friends that can't even spell my name.
He doesn't know how to pronounce his last name. That's strange.
So how we met was there was a convention. I'm not sure if it was for state. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was over in the middle of Hagerstown, and you were in character because at the time, I want to say it was. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say that you were promoting a Brad Twigg film because you had a weapon, and
Killer Campout.
Thank you. Yeah. Because there's a couple of campout movies. I didn't want to misidentify which one it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, walked up and I introduced myself to you, and then we've just kind of bounced into each other. And I think the first film we ever actually worked on might have been Bigfoot.
You were on Bigfoot?
I was in Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
I was a Bigfoot. Don't you recognize?
I was a Bigfoot too. I was when you see in the movie when Mel Heflin is getting her head smashed.
Right.
That's my foot. Except when I don't know if you were there when they were shooting that day.
Oh yeah.
Except
okay. I recognize it. Right.
Except on the bottom of the foot, the price tag was still on it.
Nice. Yeah, so we have a relationship where there's probably more than 2 or 3 films that we've been on, but because we didn't share screen time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, everybody thinks if you're in the movie business and you're in the same movie, you had to work together.
Right.
Lots of times you don't even.
Yeah.
You don't even know who else is in the movie.
I think I've been on 4 different movies that Monique Dupree was in, and I've never shared a second of screen time with her, and I've actually only met her in person twice, and the first time was 10 years after the first movie. So it's just
I don't I got people I'm not sure if I've ever been in the same scenes as Jim Crut.
Right.
We've worked on quite a few movies, but I don't think we've ever been in the same. And I think the reason is we're both kind of in the same actor category, age and all wise.
Right. Okay.
And so if there's one old person in the scene, it's either Jim or I. You don't get a lot of scenes with 2 old people in it. So that might be it. I don't know.
Well, Jim was actually the first person that I ever shared time with on scene. Excuse me. Was Deadlands 2 Trapped. Okay, so that was the first movie I was ever in.
How long ago was that?
I want to say it was 2007, maybe 2006.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so the backstory to that is that my father happened to have lost his job. He was laid off, and this is back in the VHS days. Okay. And so he was working for a small company, and a guy that he was working with happened to have like his own pirate VHS store. He'd rent a tape and then he would dub it and then rent it to his buddies, right?
Yeah.
So Dad knew that I liked horror movies. He could never understand why I liked horror movies, but he knew I liked horror movies. And one day he brought home Dawn of the Dead, 1979. Okay? Never seen it before. Checked it out. I enjoyed it. And of course, everybody remembers the iconic zombie that gets his head cut off.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 2006, right? I sign on for Deadlands 2, which is actually a fun story of how I got involved in it. And the director, Gary Garrick, is like, hey, Jim Crut's going to be in the scene that you're in. And he's from Dawn of the Dead. And at the time, I had no idea who he was. Right. And so that actually was probably beneficial because I didn't fanboy or anything, right? And of course, if you know Jim, he's just a righteous dude, you know?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. So we did our lines together and been friends ever since. And I've had, again, somebody that I've been in a number of movies with. And except for that scene, I don't think we've ever... No, that's not true. I was in a scene with him in Remnants, Mark Burns' Remnants, where I did a scene with Jim. So, yeah.
Yeah, Remnants. I don't... no, I wasn't in... I did a basement scene and then a kill scene in a bar. Yeah, no, Jim wasn't in any. I don't think we've ever shared the screen. Well, I didn't know you were involved in movies 2006.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So how it started off for me is that I grew up having the fortune, okay, of being involved in like community theater, right? And so I remember in kindergarten, and I always shout out Regina DePaulis, my very first teacher, my kindergarten teacher, who I'm still in touch with to this day, by the way. And I can remember that she was into the arts, she was into acting, and she had a Super 8 camera. And myself and a couple of the other kids in the class did like a cops and robbers skit, and it was in the archives of the school forever. I don't know whatever happened to it. And then 6th grade, the community theater was doing The King and I. And so because of my complexion, I got on set in the play as one of the princes who's supposed to be from Thailand. And Regina DePaulis had the role of, there's the king and then there's the eye. Okay?
Yeah.
And she was the eye. All right.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I had no background in acting at all. None whatsoever. And I started doing the pirate thing, and an actress from D.C. we had a mutual photographer friend and wanted to do, she was big into steampunk at the time, wanted to do a steampunk pirate photo shoot, and we did it at a studio in Fredericksburg, and we hit it off, and she said, you need to be in the movies, and I said, well, hook me up, and she got me a one-day walk-on as a pirate zombie, and then I worked as 10 different zombies on that movie. That was Mills vs. Zombies, and here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am.
How many credits do you have now?
About 126. Now that's acting credits, producing credits. That's all total. Probably about 90 acting credits. But then there's, don't get me started on this, but there's probably 5, 6, 7, 8 movies that have never been put on IMDb yet for various reasons. For everybody out there that's watching this, that's involved in one of those movies, you know who you are.
Things happen.
But I just, I guess I can announce it now because they said that by tomorrow it will be up. I won't say the name of the movie, but I negotiated a deal where there's going to actually be a JesseGreenLIVE podcast as part of the horror movie.
Nice. Okay.
And my credit hadn't been put up on IMDb, but why I brought that up is they just got done the funding. I was probably the last one to come on board, and it's already up on IMDb.
Okay,
they haven't shot a thing yet. We got kind of a schedule, but they already got it up on IMDb. And there are people out there that say, no, you can't put it on IMDb until it's finished. I don't understand that because you might as well get that publicity as long as you can, And lots of times in this business at this level, we work on movies for,
just for credit.
Like we say in professional, hot dog and a handshake.
Right.
And
You get handshakes?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. Sometimes in wrestling, if we do really good, we get 2 hot dogs. It all depends on how many are left over at the end of the night. So we might get a second one. But I do this, and as you get into the business, you find out from higher ups in the movie business that IMDb, the rating in all doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right.
But I feel that at this level it means a lot, because that's the one thing that you can tell somebody. Go look at my IMDb page, and your general public, your friends and all, that's the only place that they can see what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
So it is important.
Right.
The ranking, I'm not sure about the ranking, because you go. In fact, I was hanging around 40,000 for a long time, and then it's amazing. Just about the week that I had my stroke in November, I grew up to 400,000 that same week. So I suspect that IMDb, there's more input to IMDb than just people looking at your page and what you do. I suspect they watch social media, and I haven't been able to get it back down from that number.
So how are you dealing with the stroke? You look and sound fine. So how's your
doing
recovery?
Good. Doing good. It took a while. That had a physical toll on me, and then having to put Marley down had a mental toll on me.
Sure.
But probably a month ago now, I just went to find out that Jimmy Buffett's Coral Reefer Band was playing down at Nissan, and that's kind of where the whole pirate thing started.
Okay.
And I contacted some friends and went down, and it was like, man, that one night just snapped me out of it,
Good.
I kind of came full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've probably done, so in the last 3 months, or the last 2 months since then, we've done 2-3 things with Parrot Head related.
Okay.
And Parrot Heads are the greatest people. I don't think anybody can be. Well, I've run into some. Of course, you run into assholes and everything. But for the most part, Parrot Heads are such nice, laid-back people, with that Caribbean vibe and all that. And I'm glad now to see that the Coral Reefer Band is going out on their own.
Right.
So they were actually this tour, they were the opening act for the Doobie Brothers, which I'm not sure who in the marketing department put that together. Reefer Band.
And the word is that next year it's going to be flipped around.
Well, I'm not even sure the Doobie Brothers are going to be with them next year, which...
If they do,
it's
opening Doobies.
Yeah. Because Doobie Brothers were okay. I like the Doobie Brothers when they were out, but the problem with these bands like that is, what did they have? I don't know exactly. 8-10 hits maybe.
I'm a bit of a fan myself, actually. I think that it's probably a little bit better than that, but okay, we'll go with 10. Yeah.
Okay, and then they have to come do an hour-and-a-half show.
Right.
Well, they just every 3-minute song that we remember from back then becomes a 10-15-minute song, and they're just jamming in between, you know. And I guess if you were a real big fan, that's kind of cool. If you were a casual fan, it's like, I just want to hear the song.
Right.
I just want to hear the song. But if you only got 10 songs and they're 3 minutes apiece, your show's over in a half an hour.
Well, my musical taste is, I like to tell it goes from everything from Beethoven to Black Sabbath, okay, and everything in between.
Yeah.
And 2 of the tightest shows I've ever seen, one I didn't see live, but I've seen the video, and that is the Ramones, okay, and talk about 3-minute songs, right? And it's just from the beginning to the end of a 60-minute show is nothing but, them going for it, and very little breaks in between.
Yeah.
And the other one was Faster Pussycat. Faster Pussycat's a solid band. They, they get up there and they play and they play and they play, and it's pretty impressive to watch. Actually, you get a full show out of it.
Huh. I think that the band that impressed me most, this goes all the way back to the beginning of MTV, was Dire Straits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, they put on from what I can remember, they put on a hell of a show.
Oh,
Mark Knopfler, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Doobie Brothers were okay. I'm glad to see next year that the Coral Reefers are going to be the headlining, because I tell you what, you sit there and I was sitting there watching it, and they had just a mic in the middle of where
sure.
Jimmy would have been.
Right.
But once they got into their songs, it was the same I've seen for years.
Mm-hmm.
Just Jimmy wasn't there and his voice wasn't there, because I've always said all along that, Jimmy Buffett, my feelings is he wasn't that good of a singer, and he wasn't that good of a guitar player, but he had the smarts to put the best around him.
Mm-hmm.
And he sold a lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah. You know? And so the lifestyle's still there.
Mm-hmm. Wife and I will be on a Margaritaville cruise in January, actually. So,
oh, yeah?
Yeah. So there you go with the lifestyle.
Where's that going out of?
It's going out of Florida, and then it'll hit the Caribbean all the way to, I always forget the name of the Caymans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which, interestingly enough, I have a cousin that was born in the Caymans, but she doesn't live there now. She lives right now, I believe she's in Portugal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the international side of the family gets around.
Well, that's not a bad place to live.
Where, Portugal?
Yeah.
I've never been there myself, but...
Oh, until I found Key West years ago, my favorite place wasn't Portugal, but it was right on the Mediterranean side of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
There's two islands there.
Okay.
Mallorca and Menorca.
Mm-hmm.
And Palma is on the bigger island. Oh man, that was my favorite place in the world.
Nice.
Never made it back, but then I found Key West, and I'm like, I don't have to go back.
There you go.
Got everything in Key West. So, like I said, I didn't know you were involved with movies all the way back then. I thought you just showed up on set a couple years back, because I didn't get into acting until, it's been about 10 years, so 2015, maybe 2014, something like that.
Okay.
So I didn't know you were that. And you acted when you were in school. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was too shy and too stupid and ugly and all that.
No, I
do any of that shit in school.
I wasn't like steadily consistent. It was as things appeared. Okay, so kindergarten afforded me the opportunity with Miss Paulus, and then 6th grade, The King and I, in the community theater, and then my senior year. So it's like every 6 years. Okay.
Yeah.
My senior year, I went out for the school musical, which was Bye Bye Birdie. Okay, and all I wanted to do was be the guitarist in the band, because there was a part for that. There was a casted part, the guitarist in the band. That's all I wanted, because the music wasn't going to come from me. All right, it was going to come from the orchestra, but I got to act like it, right?
Right.
Well, I didn't get that part. Okay. Instead, I got cast as the young son, Conrad. Okay, who fortunately can't sing, because neither can I. All right. So I was bummed out that here I am. I got one of the lead parts, and I'm upset about it, because I just wanted to be the air guitarist, more or less, right? Well, as fate would have it, the guitarist that got the part was like on academic probation. And so I got to do both roles, because they weren't on set at the same time. And so I got to go up there and do every guitarist impersonation. I'm sitting there acting like Pete Townsend, and playing with my teeth like Jimi Hendrix, So that was fun. And I decided I was going to pursue radio, television, and film as a career choice. And so I went to Temple University for radio, television, and film, and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Radio, Television, and Film. And you know what they say, you don't know what you got, right? So here I am in Philadelphia, and I get a job as an on-air producer for one of the local radio stations. And, I look back now, okay, at the ripe old age, and realize that it's like New York, DC, LA, I guess now Atlanta, right? Philadelphia, I'm probably missing one somewhere, but it's in the top 5 markets. And here I am right out of college, landing a gig at one of the top 5 markets. The problem is that it's an unstable environment. Entertainment is very unstable. You can be working and you can be solidly working, or you can have that one shot and then never hit again.
Yeah.
Or if you're in the technical side of things, like I'm not an air personality, I'm a producer, I saw guys that were getting fired fairly regularly. And of course with radio, you show up on a Friday to do your gig, and then you find out that unbeknownst to you, they've sold the station, and now it's no longer a talk show. Now it's a top 40, and they don't need you anymore, right? So I watched this happen, and I was like, man, I really have an issue with security. I need to be secure. I can't deal with this kind of vagabond lifestyle and not knowing going into work whether or not I'm going to have a gig, right?
Yeah.
And so at that point I was like, well, you know what? I'm always going to be young enough to do something with radio, television, film. I'm not always going to be young enough to be in the military. And so that's what put me into the military. And so I went into the military and did about 7 years. And even during my time in the military, if somebody needed a video or an audio cut, they would come to me and I would do it for free, no big deal. And so I kind of kept myself involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, it just was no longer on the radar at all in any way, shape, or form. Now I'm just a film enthusiast who happens to have the background to where I'm able to appreciate, Metropolis or a Fritz Lang film or something from the 30s and enjoy it,
Yeah.
M with Peter Lorre, stuff like that. So how I got into indie film was, well, in the military, I was a CID agent. Okay, so if anybody's watching Jack Reacher out there, this is what Jack Reacher really looks like in real life, okay? All right, so laughter offline, if you can put canned laughter in,
Oh, okay.
All right, so anyway.
I don't know how to do that, but
well, I'm sure.
We'll figure it out.
There you go. So anyway, a friend of mine from high school who also went to Temple and has a radio, television, film degree, Paul Yoder, calls me and is like, hey, you want to go to, I'm not sure again what the convention was, which one it was, but it was a horror convention mostly. And I was like, no way, man. Everybody that is going to show up are all going to be dressed in black and have face tattoos.
That's about right.
That's not me, right? And yeah, it is about right. But here's the thing. What I found out was they're some of the most beautiful, welcoming, wonderful people you'll ever meet, right? And like I said, I go to the conventions kind of looking like I do right now. And it kind of freaks people out because everybody else has got like, the Jason Friday the 13th shirt, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I show up to the convention with Paul and we're walking around and I noticed that there were probably 4 or 5 tables where people were selling the films that they had made in their backyards with their friends or what have you. Some of them were higher budgets, but micro budget films, right? And I said to Paul, I was like, with technology being what it is, we can make a really good movie for about $30,000. And he goes, no, you'd need $300,000. So at that point, it became kind of a dare, right? And so I came home, and immediately went to the internet and just typed in, indie films, and I found that Gary U. Garrick was shooting Deadlands 2 at the Leitersburg Theater, which is now Warehouse Theater. But at the time, it was an independent theater of Leitersburg. And so I cold called him, and I was like, hey, man, I've see that you're shooting a movie. It's really close to where I am. I really enjoy being involved. And he was like, well, I've cast everybody. And I was like, no, I understand. And I'm not a professional, obviously, but I can competently deliver a couple of lines. And also, I noticed that you're looking for investment. So we can talk about investment, but I would need a role for this. And he says, well, I need an evil government agent. And I looked at him, I was like, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
I am an evil government agent. I don't even need to act. So that's how I met Jim Krupp. And so since then, it's been a situation where a opportunity will come up, and I'm pretty family oriented. Okay, so my time that's free, when I'm not working my full-time job, I like to spend with my dog that you just heard, and my other two dogs, and my wife and my kids. So normally, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be in northern Pennsylvania on set for 10 days. But if there's a part that is fairly local and it's more on the smaller side, I'm very happy with that. And one of the things is that I don't do auditions. And to me, talking to a director and saying, hey, I'll be happy to do a walk-on with no speaking role, just to help your movie. And then what I do is that if I get that walk-on with no speaking part, okay, which usually there's, no problem at all. What, you just want to walk on? You don't want any money? You don't want a line? Okay, yeah. So I'll be here and I'll prepare like 6 different outfits, and I will create a role for that bit part, even though he doesn't have any lines. And I will show up and I will tell the director, it's like, I don't know what kind of scene you're shooting, because usually I don't know. It's a micro budget film. They don't, they don't tell you, you're going to be in.
They might not even know how they're shooting it.
So I come prepared with costume changes. I come prepared with my own character already designed in my head. This is how this guy's going to act, even though he's just sitting at a table watching a band, and that normally elevates it into bigger and better things. In fact, you and I didn't share screen time, but for Talons of the Phoenix. Okay, so Talons of the Phoenix, right? I knew that was being shot, but I assumed correctly that they were looking for kind of a more higher visibility actor. So I never even thought about auditioning or anything. And so a friend of mine, who every time I get a role, I always call him and I tell the director, it's like, hey, if you're taking me, I got this buddy of mine, Mike Hyatt. Mike Hyatt and I went to high school together. So we're like I jokingly say we're like the new Affleck and Damon, right? So we normally appear in movies, and every now and then he'll beat me out and he'll get the role and I won't. Okay, and
that happens every now and then, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I hate him for that, but I get over it. So he was on Talons of the Phoenix as a German soldier. Okay, and so I happen to know Kat and Darren, and so through mutual friends, and we've met before, and so I just shot out and I said, hey, if you guys are still looking for extras for this day, I'll be more than happy to show up and be available. I didn't hear anything, in my recollection. I didn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden, I think it was a Tuesday night or a Tuesday morning where I'm at work and I get this email and says, be in Gettysburg at 5 o'clock or wherever that shoot was. It was in Pennsylvania someplace. And I was like, okay. So I was doing the math and I'm like, man, it's going to take me an hour and a half to get here. And then it's another probably 40 minutes. It's going to take me a while. So I put in 2 hours of vacation time, left a little early from work, got here, grabbed some gear, because I was cast as a World War II paratrooper. Again, not a big stretch. Don't need to really act for this. So show up on set, and I think call time was, like I said, 5 o'clock, and I'm there. And I think it was May. I want to say it was May. I wish I remembered, but all I know is this. For May, it got cold. I want to say it went down to 19 degrees that night. Russell was there. He can tell you. Okay?
Wow.
It got freaking cold.
It got cold, okay? And so we are in costume as World War II paratroopers, not Battle of the Bulge wintertime, something a lot lighter, right? And so I remember just being cold. But hey, you don't complain, you don't say a word.
No.
And I didn't, right? So myself and Mike's son, Kelly, were both on set that night. And so we went out and we did our bit parts, non-speaking. And Darren came in and he said, you guys have been awesome and you've stuck it out and you froze and you didn't complain or say a word. I'm going to give you guys lines. And so we had maybe 2 hours to do our lines, and now it's like I'm already in costume, but now I'm delivering lines, so I gotta come up with that character I always come up with, right?
Yeah.
And so Kelly went his direction, I went mine. Kelly's girlfriend happened to be on set, now wife, by the way, and they just had a baby. But
Congratulations.
yeah, he went his way, I went my way, and we worked out how we were going to deliver the lines. And then come time to do it, it was getting real short in time. And I said to Darren, I was like, for me to get to work right now, I got to leave the set at 4 a.m. And I think it was like 2:30 at the time, and it still didn't look like I was going to get on set. And so fortunately it worked out, and I'm very proud of this, okay? I walked out, they said action, I delivered my lines with all my acting parts that I had developed, the character and everything. They said cut, like almost like questioning, and everybody kind of looked at each other and went, we'll do it again just because, but that was perfect. And so they shot it one more time and did exactly the same thing. They were like, you're good, get the hell out of here. And so I'm proud of that because, again, no crap, no BS. Just go deliver what the director's looking for. And this is how that paid off. I am here at home, and it's a Sunday night, I think, and I get an email from Kat, okay, Darren's wife. She's like, are you available tomorrow, Monday, January 22nd, I think it was. And I was like, yeah, like 4 o'clock or whatever. And she goes, oh, well, we needed you at like 10. And I was like, nuts. Okay, sorry. And I looked and I was like, hey, wait a minute. Tomorrow's a holiday. I can be there at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so I did what I did. It's, again, the understanding was I'm showing up just to stand in a cemetery, and it must have been 2 feet of snow, by the way. Okay. And I had no expectations of other than just showing up and standing there. And they said, we'll make it worth your while. We'll give you a line. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't expect them to write anything for me. I came up with reading the script. I said, I need to see the script. And I read the script, and I figured, okay, I know what my role is, and I know what that character would probably say. Pretty insignificant, but whatever. So I show up. I've got 3 different changes of clothes with me, like I told, that's how I work. I've got plenty of stuff for being outside. I've got, hand warmers. I am set, okay? And I show up, and Russell, God bless him, is there. And the next thing you know, it's no longer, we're only going to have you stand in the cemetery in the cold. We now want you to do this other scene with the lead actress. And then after that, when you're in the cemetery, you're going to be with the lead actress in Costas Mandylor. And I was like, cool. And again, it was one take. Okay, we just got to change the angle. All right, do it again. Change the angle, do it again. That was it. And so that's the advice I would give anybody who wants to get involved in acting is professionalism has nothing to do with money. It's an attitude. And it's the way that you deliver. And so if you're lucky enough to have somebody cast you, even if it is the most insignificant walk-on role, okay, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to that director, you owe it to whoever's going to watch that movie to give that the best performance you can possibly give, as if it's an Oscar-winning performance. Because I've seen movies where even you can watch them and you can see somebody who's in the background who completely screws up the shot. Somehow it was missed in editing, okay? But I picked up on it, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. And so that's the advice I would give is, if you're blessed enough to have somebody actually cast you.
Oh, yeah, because it's, to me, it's such an honor to be and be a working actor.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the overall movie sucks, that doesn't mean you have to suck.
Well, just remember, there are no ugly babies.
Yeah. Well, I asked when I first, because some of the people I worked with initially, the films were a little questionable. And I asked somebody, because I didn't know, I had no acting background, just fell into it. I said, what if it's a sucky movie, but you perform well? Does the fact that it's a sucky movie reflect on you? And they said, no. If you do your job, you do your job. You can't help it. It was a bad writing, bad directing, whatever. You just do your job. But yeah, you just got to show up, and you don't know what it's going to lead to.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I caution people just getting into the movie business, I mean, if you can, be an extra,
mm-hmm.
because it's so fascinating to be on a movie set. To see how movies are made and the background. But it just went.
That's all right. If God can interject here real quick, there's only one problem about doing that. Seeing how to work it behind the camera, you can become jaded.
Well, I don't think once you've
if you're into film and
yeah, I don't think once you've worked on movies, you ever watch movies the same again.
Right.
Because I know I watch movies and I'm like, how did they do that? How was that lighting set up?
Mm-hmm.
Or how was that staged? And I don't know that's bad. It hasn't taken away my appreciation of movies.
No, I think it's probably highly developed in appreciation, because I do the same thing. I pay attention to acting and writing when I'm watching a movie. And I remember that I was talking to Craig Rosenthal. Unfortunately, we've fallen out. I haven't heard from him in a few years. I hope he's doing beautifully, and I'd love to get in touch with him again. But he and I were talking, and I remember him mentioning the soundtrack. And I looked at him in all sincerity. I was like, I don't remember hearing a single note on that movie. And it was, Craig's a real musical guy, so he was interested in the soundtrack and the music, where I was oblivious to it. I was watching the acting. I was listening to the lines and seeing, how they worked. And so it's interesting that, I don't know if you've had that experience, but,
I watch actors. I've got some favorite actors that I certainly can't say I want that I'll ever be like them, but I appreciate their ability. Mm-hmm. And so, when they're in a movie, I watch how they present lines. What I have found a big thing in the acting business is it's not only important how you deliver your lines, it's just as important how you listen. Mm-hmm. Because I see my biggest pet peeve in watching movies, and I see it on big level movies, is, and I know how it's shot. If they were shooting us in a movie, they'd set up the camera, shoot you over my shoulder, mm-hmm. and same way reverse lighting and everything, shoot me over your shoulder. And I hate it, and they do it. And I know how it gets done, but they're shooting you talking, and I'm just like this. There's no movement. There's mm-hmm. no, even if I say anything, there's no movement. But for the average person watching it, they don't even notice that because they're watching you talk.
Right.
But this person with their back there, they'll just be all it is basically a shoulder, mm-hmm. and I hate that, because that person should be reacting somehow.
Yeah.
Some type of movement or shaking a head or something, but they're just. But it happens in high level movies too.
Well, but it's interesting that you brought that up, because out of necessity, I was involved early on in a project called Heavy Duty Man. Russell actually is one of the two original people that were cast in that actually remained on the project throughout the entirety. The other one is Chris Ridings. But I got involved in that early on, and when it fell to me to be the director of the movie, my way of doing things is, I'm very interested in body language. I'm very interested in performance. I'm very interested in the subtleties of those little, almost intangibles, okay? And so I would direct the scene, and I would tell each of the actors even though we're shooting him, okay, I want everything to be going. Background, both of you acting at the same time, doing your lines, everything else. I want you to react because, again, this is personal, all right? If I'm delivering lines and I'm delivering them to a person who isn't reacting to me, then I feel as though there's subtleties in my facial expressions that will not be present. But if I'm directing my lines and the person is reacting, then I'm naturally going to react as well, and I'm going to bleed out that micro expression. And so you bring up a very valid point that a lot of times people don't do that. And again, to their credit, they're probably far better actors than me that don't need that input.
Yeah, they don't need that.
Okay, but I think it's invaluable.
Well, I can tell you, working on Anna Key with Abigail Hendricks, she had just graduated from 4-year acting school in Chicago, and she had gotten a full ride. So somebody saw something in her 4 years before, and we got her right out of acting school. And that was my first experience. And I apologize to all the other actresses in the area that I've worked with. Her ability was just up here. And that was my first experience of playing off a theatrical trained actress. And then I did a short called Verily. And the actress there is, I'm going to have to sneeze here at some point.
Bless you.
Just won't go away. But she's going to acting school in Liverpool, which I find out is one of the best acting schools in the world. And I had a short scene with her, and it was good. Thanks, Russell. You did it instead of me. Again, when you look, when you're across from somebody that trained, exactly what you said, you almost don't have to act. It's there. And then I had a short scene with another actress that was theater trained, and if I could, I'd only work with theater trained actresses. But then again, if they're theater trained, they may not want to work with me. But I wanted to make a point where you were saying about showing up and getting Heavy Duty Man. I'm not sure that I had a role. I think I had a role in the outside scene with the baby carriage and all. That was a setup role that I was there for.
Correct.
But I would show up on set simply because that's my family.
I'd like to think you showed up because you were it was a fun set to be on.
It was. And, it's, I'd much rather be on it. I'd much rather spend my day on a movie set, even if I'm not in the movie. It's just the camaraderie is great. And Heavy Duty Man, what did I end up in? 4 or 5 different scees?
Yeah.
I was a weightlifter or something. No, a chain smoker in a gym.
Yeah.
And then I had the holding the boxing scene for Shonda.
Don't ruin it because that's hysterically funny.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. But I ended up probably in 5 different scenes that I wasn't supposed to be in. But you were like, "Hey, come here,
absolutely.
Do this."
I mean, not to take the shine off of you for that, but you weren't the only one. I mean, it was like, it was almost like an open casting call every single day on set. People would show up and were like, there was one guy who was walking through the parking lot, okay? And one of the guys was like, "Hey, who is that?" And I went over, and instead of like being "What are you doing on this?" I was like, "Hey, man, you want to, check this out? We're shooting a movie." And it turned out to be Derek Morales, who's a guy that rents an apartment up there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but I think that might have been the second time I had met him, But next thing you know, he was on set, and so it became a very familial atmosphere.
Well,
it was a lot of fun.
That's
Mallory.
Boyfriend,
right.
Yeah. He actually worked on as just a boom guy or something on Serious Profession.
Yeah.
Because we shot right outside his apartment there.
Actually, it was Serious Profession where that's where it happened, where he showed up.
Oh, is that how?
He was walking through the parking lot, and one of the guys on the set is like, "Hey man, who is that guy?" And I was like, "Hold on a minute, let's take it easy, right?"
Yeah.
Walked over, and yeah, it was Serious Profession.
Serious Profession.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had shot or had a wrestling show or something out of town, and I knew that was going to be the wrap day, and I hurried back into town to Waynesboro just to be there for the end of the wrap. In fact, I think that was all wrapped, I think that's when I was first approached by Matt and who you just talked about. Craig. About Anna Key.
Okay.
I think that was my first introduction into the movie Anna Key.
Well, let me tell you, since you brought it up, Anna Key was a very, very well done movie. When I first saw the screenplay, we talked about this last night, it was like 210 pages.
Yes.
It was incredibly long, incredibly convoluted, and I was not a fan, okay? And because I knew a number of people in the cast, of course, and because of Matt Anderson, I went to the premiere. I had some things going on, so I was like a minute late to the premiere. Came in, sat in the back, didn't tell anybody I was there, and then I left immediately as credits rolled. And I remember telling you and telling anybody else that would listen, I was like, I was wrong. This was a very good movie. It was really well done.
Yeah, I felt that the cast. I don't know any role in that I might have cast different. Everybody did. There were maybe one or two, but for the most part, I thought everybody fit the part that they were picked to play there. And don't know what the future holds for me in the movie business, but I feel that Anna Key is going to be my signature movie when this is all said and done. And I'm proud of it. It was one of my first ventures into actually acting, because I started out in just strictly horror movies, and some of my opinions on independent horror movies are that I'm not sure actors and actresses have to be that good, because the horror is the draw. All you are as an actor in an independent horror movie is what number you're going to go out.
So I did the research, so I know I'm standing on solid ground, okay? If you're an independent filmmaker and you're making a comedy or a drama, okay, I'm willing to listen, all right? Prove me wrong. But I don't remember there being a comedy convention or a drama convention, right? But there are horror conventions, okay? And people will go and travel long and far, okay, to get to a horror convention, and they will buy that movie that somebody shot for $20.
They will.
And on top of that, statistically, again, go and look, it's almost hard to lose money making a horror movie. If you're making a horror movie, and at this level you have to be very careful about budgeting, the more money you spend in that movie, the less chance there is that you're going to make the money back. But if you can do it right and you can budget correctly, it's really difficult to lose money making a horror movie. I'm sure people have done it, but it's not easy.
I'm sure. But I don't know for a fact, probably maybe my first 30, 35, 40 movies were horror movies, and got to the point where, because I just fell into it. I didn't have acting background like you did or any kind of training. I just fell into it.
Trust me, I'm not a graduate of Juilliard or anything like that. But
well, it got to a point for me that I wasn't sure if I could act, and I wanted to branch out and see if I could act. And so, Anna Key was, I had done a couple dramas before that, but no major, I guess Abigail was the star. I guess I was were we co-stars, I like to give her, she gets top billing because it was Anna Key. It wasn't, the name of the movie wasn't Danny.
Right.
You know? But, I mean, I think that ended up being 90 pages, 90-some pages, and I was probably in 70 of the 90 pages. And I'm proud of that movie.
Oh, you should. No.
It ended up being 131 pages.
131.
Yeah, I knew it was higher than 90, but I wasn't sure. Yeah.
It's 131.
But I was in a lot of the movie, and it was I'm proud of it. I pulled it off.
Oh yeah,
you know, I
mean,
pulled it off.
Well, reference to what you said about you know, I don't know what word you use, doubting your abilities, but have you ever heard the phrase that comparison is the thief of joy?
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So just hear me out, all right? Take your favorite actor, okay? Whoever that shall be, all right? There's quite a few that I happen to enjoy, and I think arguably one of the best, if everybody was talking, is going to be Cagney, and then Denzel Washington is up there for me, right? Comparison's the thief of joy. I know I'm never going to be James Cagney, ever, okay?
Yeah.
I know that I'm not going to be Denzel Washington, okay? My range is about that of a spitball, okay?
Yeah.
Wherever it lands, that's about as far as
But a damn good spitball.
A damn good spitball, okay? But, you know, it's what do you do within the range that you're comfortable, okay? And then maybe try to challenge yourself, go a little bit further out and a little bit further out. In the end, you know, you're never going to be out here. You're never going to be perfect, okay? But you're probably going to be further than you ever thought you would be.
Well, that's what I've been trying to, you know, I've got on IMDb somewhere, they get at it, somewhere at 120 some credits. Some of them are producers, some of them are, but I got to a point where, you know, Marley started to get up in age, and I didn't want to put him in kennels to go work, and I couldn't take him with me. So I made the conscious decision to just not take on any bigger roles, that I had to travel and go somewhere. And then I had to put him down back in January, and decided since then that, you know, now I can go anywhere. So I joined Backstage and Actors Access, and I think I've put out 15 plus auditions. Haven't got anything back, but I just started to, I'd wanted to for a while, but couldn't because of the restriction with Marley. I just wanted to get away from here, you know, and get away from working with the same people. Because I love it when I show up on set and there's nobody there I know. I love that, you know, because it's, I feel I've got a whole group of people to win over. You know, whereas if I show up at the same people, then they know what my ability is, and it's just more fun. And now, right now, as I sit here, I got a movie coming up to shoot in Florida. I got one coming up to shoot in Kentucky, Michigan, somewhere else. And you know, I'm just trying to expand, but and I look for roles that really challenge me. And the movie that I'm doing down in Florida is called The Hive, and I only have a small. It's probably going to be broken up into 2 scenes, but 5 minutes at the most. But I tell you, that's going to be. In fact, I told the director. I sent him an audition, and when I got the part, I told him, I said, okay, I'll do this, but here's the deal. I want you to set up the lighting. I want you to set up the sound. I want you to set it up and get the camera rolling. Then I want everybody out of the room. Because where I have to go to as an actor, I don't want anybody to see it. I don't want anybody around. And if I can, and I think I can, because when I talked to him about audition for the part, he said, you know, this is going to be emotionally, this is going to be, and I said, don't worry about it, I got it. And he said he was more impressed with when he got it than what he ever thought he would be. But where I got to go with the emotions and the emotional loss and all that, I don't want anybody else in the room.
Well, if I can offer you a suggestion. Okay, so there's pretty much for every actor out there, there's an acting school. Okay, they all have their own, right?
Yeah.
But there's the big ones. There's Meisner. There's Stanislavski. There's the Method, right? Okay, and they're all very similar. Okay, there's another one out there though. It's a little less known. In fact, I'm not even sure if the school is still in business, and I do have a copy of the book, and it's called Acting Without Agony. Okay, the bottom line is this. Okay, the Method and schools like that will tell you, oh, well, you've got to get in touch with that, your inner hitman, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're playing a hitman. You got to get in touch with your inner hitman. You don't have to answer this, but I'm going to take a stab at the fact, no pun intended, that you've probably never killed somebody.
Yeah,
right?
no.
So how are you possibly
going
we're
on tape,
to,
right? No, no, I never have.
So how are you possibly going to get into character as a hitman, right?
Yeah.
So what Acting Without Agony teaches is, but you've been pissed off, right? You've been very angry.
Yeah.
You probably, being that you're an old sailor, you've probably been a bar fight or two, right? You really wanted to channel that anger, right? So you're never going to get to the point where you're going to be able to tap into that inner hitman, that inner serial killer, okay? But you are going to be able to tap into the emotions of being upset about something.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as just thinking to yourself, I'm not very happy right now. There's a story, I don't remember who the two actors were. I believe it was Mason, James Mason, and it was Russell, help me out.
What's the movie?
Well, I don't remember what the movie was, but Midnight Cowboy.
John Boyd?
No, the other one.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman, yeah. I believe the story is it's James Mason and Dustin Hoffman, okay? And I've also heard the same thing, that Gary Busey did the same thing. And it was, they had to act like they were tired. So they stayed up for like 48 hours, right? And so Hoffman comes in and he's like, man, can't wait till this is over with. I got to be tired, and I've stayed up for like 45 minutes. And James Mason, Shakespearean trained, right, looks at him and he goes, have you tried acting? And so I've never forgotten that. It's like, all right, you're not going to go in there like you're going to kill somebody because you've never done that, but you've certainly been hot before.
Yeah.
And so, hey, listen, you get to where you need to go, how you need to go there.
For some reason, I'm able to play evil well. And
I get that.
I don't know where it comes from. I don't know, but I can, and I'm the kind of actor that we can be sitting here talking, and I got to play a evil serial killer, and they'll go, okay, we need you on set, and I'll go over and be the nastiest freaking character that you want, and then they call cut, then I'm back over here talking to you, and it's but this role is just digs. It's just me in the scene, and it's a deeply emotional scene. And I figured out that what my trigger is to make me cry on cue.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you're gonna cry?
Huh?
Yeah. You're gonna cry?
Well, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that emotional breakdown. So, but like I said, it was tough enough because Russell knows I told him that I was going to shoot the audition. And he goes, you want me to come over and help? And I go, no, I got to shoot this audition by myself. And same way when I got the part, I told him, set everything up and I want everybody out of the room because I don't want anybody to see me go where I got to go. And man, I'm looking forward to that because that's a challenge. And 1 hour. That's it.
So no.
Now I got to pay him. I got to pay him overtime now.
Well, that's true. Okay, but there is one thing I want to find out. Tom, you've been involved with the movie business for quite some time now. And it's my understanding that not only you are an actor, but you're also a producer, a director, and writer. Is there anything else that you do that we should know about?
So I've been a grip. I was I think the term now is consultant, but it was weapons consultant. Armor, thank you. That's where you and I first met. Okay, and I got credit for that. So here's a little secret. And by the way, I think I got it all. I'm not really sure. There might be a few others. Because honestly, I don't read my own press releases. I have no idea how many credits I have, and I have no idea what they're under. But I will tell you that a fun story along with that was how I got involved with a documentary called George A. Romero's Resident Evil. Okay, that's a fun story. Okay, so Brandon Salisbury, he and I met. We had mutual friends, and then we became acquainted. And please forgive my dog, by the way.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. So he had said that he was working on a project, and it was about George Romero's attempt at making the first Resident Evil movie. And immediately, okay, the businessman in me was like, that's perfect. You're going to get the casual horror fan. You're going to get the Romero fan, the Resident Evil fan, the documentary fan. You're gonna hit all the bases, man. Right there, right? And so, we talked. I got to see the script. I gave him a little input, not expecting. This is because I'm his friend. Okay, I'm not involved in this. I'm not doing anything, right? And so, calls me. He's like, I need a set where there's a furnace, an old furnace. And I was like, well, I don't have access to anything like that, but I can get you a really nice looking fireplace. And so go to what is now Trigger's. Is it table and tap room or tap room and table?
Table and tap room.
Yeah, and there's a really nice fireplace back there.
Oh yeah.
And so myself and Mike Hyatt, okay, the other half, right? We show up. We're in hazmat suits and we do the scene. Okay. We also double because we're businessmen in another scene in that movie. But that's how I got involved, was just talking to Brandon, and he asks me, hey, do you have any set that I can use? I was like, I got both. I can give you a room that we can make a boardroom, and I've got the furnace. So, and there you go. And I'll take care of the props. So I got the gas mask, the hazmat suits, and everything else, right? So then later on, I looked at the budget with the understanding that whatever money I was able to save on the budget, I would get 10% off. That was my encouragement, right? So, Brandon, if you're watching this, you owe me $2.37. So.
And that was how long ago?
That was like a year and a half ago.
Okay, right? So it's probably
with interest.
Yeah, it's now probably about $3.57.
Right, and plus it's a year and a half ago, so that's in 2004 dollars.
Yeah.
Okay, so
today it'd be like $18.
Right, maybe. Yeah. All right. So you know what? I'm probably not going to remind him for another 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait till you're ready to retire, and it'll be
right.
bingo.
Yeah. That's good. That's a damn good idea.
Yeah. So ignore that if you're watching this, Brian.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything about you.
So the great thing about that is that Brandon is an incredibly, incredibly generous and grateful person, and for the assistance that I gave him, never expecting anything from it. I'm not sure if you know who Alice Cooper's manager is. They call him Supermensch, okay? Right now his name escapes me. Going to have to go online to find out because I don't want to not give him credit for it. Hold on a minute. Shep Gordon, okay? So Shep Gordon goes by the name Supermensch, right? And what I understand is they have a handshake deal, okay? He's been Alice Cooper's manager for 50 years, and they have a handshake deal. They've never signed a contract, okay? So same thing. He's QCing this right now. So, I have never had a contract with Brandon. It was completely on the honor system. I'm doing this because I want to see you succeed. Next thing you know, I'm a producer on the movie, and I've got points, and I can confidently say that in the micro-budget film business, I've actually made money doing it.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. And the other thing is that it's up for an award, by the way. We're going to find out middle of October if we win the Fangoria Chainsaw Award. Okay, so we're up for the Fangoria Chainsaw Award for the documentary, and so I'm going to be sitting there. It's I think it just came to. It was just announced when it's going to be. I think it's Sunday, the 19th of October. I may be wrong on the date. At 9 o'clock. All right, so it's a school night, but I'm going to stay up to see.
There you go. There you go.
Win. And
it's fun. It's fun winning awards.
Yeah.
Being appreciated, because in this business, everybody will pat you on the back at the set and go, "Oh, you did a great job. You did." But to have people that you don't even know, give you an award for something, it's pretty. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for. Tom Robinall, Matt Anderson, Sean West, and Brandon, and myself. Okay, that we win that. That would be great.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So along with the award, right? Every time I've been in a movie, the first movie, Deadlands 2, right? I open up the email on a Sunday morning, and there's an email from Gary, the director, saying that we won the Kentucky Friday Night Fright Night Fear Festival for Best Zombie Movie. And I turned to my wife and I said, "Guess who you're sleeping with?"
Yeah.
So that's my stock line whenever, So she's gotten over the embarrassment. I even had her on set with Heavy Duty Man. So she played a role in Heavy Duty Man for me. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, anything coming up? Anything in the immediate future that you are going to be involved in?
So, since you asked, there are two guys that are pretty significant members of the community. You may know them. Russell Sage Patrick and Jesse L. Green.
No, who are they? Are they just up and comers?
I don't have any time to go into it really, but just suffice to say that watch out for their names. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So anyway.
Now is that a warning? Watch out, or keep an eye out for it?
You know what?
I mean, are we gonna? You expect those two people to show up on in the post office?
No. Oh. I think they're going to go places. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
like Waynesboro or
Waynesboro,
Frederick?
Virginia.
Frederick?
Yeah,
maybe Frederick, Maryland.
Waynesboro, Virginia. There's an inside joke in that story, but anyway. So
that's at least get you out of Hagerstown.
Yeah, we had a guy on Heavy Duty Man that was originally cast, and he decided he had better things to do. But anyway, we're waiting for him on set when we were shooting the proof of concept, right, which was like 6 months before the actual filming date, maybe more than that. And he calls me. He's like, "I have no idea where you guys are." And I'm like, I sent you the address, right? And he's like, I have no idea where that road is. I'm completely lost. And I'm like, all right, well, tell me the first thing that you see. And he goes, well, there's a sign that says, "Welcome to Waynesboro, Virginia." And I was like, oh, well, dude, you're a whole state away, man. So,
yeah.
Getting back to those two guys, right?
Yeah, so, yeah. They must be pretty cool guys.
Yeah, there's been days where I've been like, how did I ever get involved with these two characters, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they approached me. You guys approached me with an idea that you had, and the idea that you had, I believe, was actually a really good novel, but I think that the characterization, as you had it structured, again, would be a good novel, but maybe not so much for a screenplay. And so I started working on the screenplay. It's about a young lady coming back to her town and finding out that some pretty nasty things have happened, and that let's just say that the people that she was involved with and deeply involved with and attached to are maybe not the best people. And she's done everything that she can to rise above that, and is kind of being drawn into that question, almost the hero's quest of, do I go back where I came from, or do I leave this? And so it's been a while since you guys approached me. I don't make excuses, okay? So let's just say that had some health issues that were not in any way, shape, or form severe, but it was almost like, well, the difference is the medication is that my heart rate went from 53 to 73. So I'm now awake again.
There you go.
So
and it hasn't been that long, Tom.
Oh,
it's only been a year, 4 months, 7 days, and 13 hours. So it hadn't been that.
27 minutes.
Yeah. 14 seconds.
I don't have it, so I can't get exact,
right.
but it hasn't been that long. Yeah. And don't worry about it. I haven't been counting or.
Appreciate it. But where I went was when I started doing the research on the characterization, the story that you brought to me really blends very well with a true story that happened in Westchester, Pennsylvania that deals with, I'm going to blank on the name. Give me a second. The Johnston gang, okay? They were a family that worked out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, and stole everything that wasn't nailed down and tried to steal everything else that was nailed down. And your story really fits very well into that true story. And so what I did was I adapted elements of the true story and blended it into your fictional characterization. I think it's going to work very well. You've read the first 15 pages. You were pretty happy with it. I'm particularly hiding it from you, though. I want to give you the final structure. But Russell, I have his blessing, so it must be going the right direction.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll see.
That's that.
And I presented you with another idea today.
You did, but that's yours to tell, not mine.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to tell.
Yeah.
Because it's, I think it's kind of a unique approach to that story.
Very unique. And the thing is that writing gives me the opportunity, now, like I said, now that I'm conscious more than I'm not, it gives me the opportunity to be around the people that I love rather than taking 12 hours to go on set and kind of lose that time with the family. So yeah. I like that part of things. So that, and am I allowed to announce the Kat and Darren film, or?
Oh yeah, well, honestly, it's not on IMDb yet.
Right.
So I'm like,
why don't we keep that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll tell you again to share the story, right? So when I told you that I had gotten that first job at Philadelphia radio station, my mom and I used to listen to that radio station when I was growing up. So probably every morning before school, I would be eating my breakfast, and Mom would have the talk station, and there would be this particular talk show host, Dominic Quinn, and he was kind of a curmudgeon and everything, and it was fun to listen to. So fast forward probably 10 years, and there I am at the radio station, and I'm an on-air producer for his show, so that was cool, right? And then when my wife and I were dating, we used to spend every Friday night watching a TV show called Picket Fences, and Costas Mandalar was one of the stars of Picket Fences. Well, fast forward 34 years, and now I've been in 2 films with Costas Mandalar. So that's what's really fun about the journey.
Yeah.
Okay. Other people want the journey for fame or whatever. To me, yeah, at one time I wanted this to be my living, and it turned into a hobby that I'm very serious about, but I don't take myself very seriously. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm serious when I'm on set. I'm serious about the product. I'm serious about what I present, but I don't take myself very seriously.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I think, especially as an actor, when you've done a scene, if you did good or not.
Well, I don't know, man. I always keep on thinking to myself, I could have done better.
Oh, we always think we can do better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we know when we do a scene and they call cut and we walk off, we know whether we did something that we feel proud of or we didn't. Because there's so many people out there in the business that will just blow smoke up your butt. Oh man, that was great. And you walk off and you're thinking to yourself, that was good. I did good, but I could have done better. And they're going, oh, that was great, And
Russell and I were on Zero, and that was, I think, the first time we had worked together.
First time we worked together.
Right. And so we knew that we were going to be on set together, and I called him up. I'm like, we need to, basically write the scene. We need to develop the characters and make this work, because I don't believe there was anything written for that scene.
No, they just had something laid out.
Right.
Yeah.
So Russell and I got together, and I'm not egotistical at all. I'm the kind of guy that I've actually been cast in a role. I read the role. I said to the director, hey man, some of these lines really shouldn't belong to me. They should belong to the other guy in the scene. Not a lot of actors are going to give away lines.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, this works better for the project. It works better for the director. It's not about me. It's about it's about the film. And the director's like, nope, want you to do it. So I'm like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So same thing. Russell and I got together. No ego involved. I don't care. He's obviously elderly and more senior by appearance, broken down, long in the tooth.
Long, yeah.
So
One foot in the grave.
Yeah. So I felt like it was appropriate that he take the more.
Well,
senior
he should,
role.
yeah,
Right.
because he probably not going to have that many more chances.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
actually, the oxygen was right there next to him while we were doing the set.
But he walks around with that mask on a lot.
Yeah. So anyway, so
he does.
So we set it up, and
it's kind of pathetic if that's all you can do.
Oh,
is bend over and give the finger.
I ain't done yet.
Yeah.
So and so it's all about that. Hey, you guys are going to be on set, and it's like, well, hold on a minute. We need to do better than just be on set. And afterwards, I remember he and I sat down. We're like, oh man, you know what? We could have done better. We could have done much better.
Yeah.
And we told the director, Wesley Spangler.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was going to say Snipes, but that's a totally different guy.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But he is a director as well.
They
Right,
do
that's
look.
true.
They do kind of look alike.
Yeah,
They do.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
the
can
hair.
see that. Yeah.
It's the hair. So we said to Wesley, we're like, hey man, we want another shot at that. And Wesley's like, you guys are perfect.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel, but I'm still like, I don't know. I think we could have given a little bit more to that. But you know what? If the director's happy, I got no right to not be.
Yeah.
And that goes for everything. It's like, being an advisor on a couple of the films, like, hey, you should have done it that way. Director's like, I'm like, you're happy? Then I'm happy.
Yeah.
Not my movie. I'm here to make your movie the best that you can be.
Wait, one thing I wanted to mention, you talked about it earlier. One of my pet peeves, my biggest pet peeve being on movie sets is when you do a scene and the director goes, that was great. Let's do it again.
Yeah. No. It's never, that was great. Let's do it. That was perfect.
Yeah. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
And I had to, it's kind of a standing joke with Amanda now from Anna Key.
Mm-hmm.
I said, don't do that. Tell me that was good, but I think we can do better.
Okay.
Then I'm ready to go.
Right.
But don't tell me it was perfect. It was great, but let's do it again. Then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Or we wouldn't have to do it again.
Well, a screenplay that again has been on hold while I was getting my condition taken care of. It's nothing major. It's merely over-medicated for high blood pressure. I'm good now. Okay. I'm writing a screenplay about a film crew and some things that happened to them. Okay. And in there, I've got the director, and I've particularly designed this guy to be like every bad director you've ever worked for. And at one point he goes, that was perfect. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
And then some other line, he goes, all right, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
It's like,
fix it in post.
We missed the entire thing. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's another good one.
Well, Jesse,
Well,
unless
I think
you got any other questions, man, I really appreciate you having me.
I think we discussed a bunch of stuff. I think we ought to have a surprise here at the end.
Okay.
They have been so patient. I think you need to let them out.
Don't go anywhere yet. I told you I wasn't done.
He always has to figure out a way to get in.
Okay. This was totally off the wall. We did not plan this, but if you notice, we've all got the various shades of the same color. So yeah, good job, guys.
I got the memo. All right, let me get the co-stars.
He had to get on camera to say that. He's either doing that or he's taking my costume and putting it on to get into a movie.
Blah blah blah. One time, gee.
Okay, here we go. They have been. Come here.
Kill.
Come here. They have been so patient. Right? What? 5 feet away.
Yeah.
Sitting inside the door.
So the one that's molesting you is Gemma, and she actually has a role in Heavy Duty Man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And her friend over here is Lily.
Come here, Lily.
She's the peaceful one.
Come here, Lily.
Lily has a body count. We woke up one morning and came downstairs, and there was a dead possum in the house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a song, Dead Possum in the Middle of the Road?
I'm not sure.
That video flub was caused by
Gemma the dog.
Gemma the dog.
I was going to say, maybe you ought to concentrate on what you're doing instead of coming over here trying to get in front of the camera, but that's okay.
All right, Gemma. Gemma,
hey
sick
there,
balls. Come on.
Not his.
Come on.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Tom. That was awesome.
Sit back down so you can say bye.
Thank you, brother.
That was awesome.
Appreciate it. Take care of yourself.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Please
Sit down.
Hey.
Hey.
See you next time.
So thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Russell.
Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Hey, thanks for having us over, man.
And join me next Wednesday morning for another edition of Jesse Green Live, 5:36 a.m. I want to see you there. What?